Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the IT 101 series here for NASTD, the National Association of State Technology Directors. My name is Brad Steele, and I'm the Director of Unified Communications at the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and a past president of NASTD. While I was president a couple of years ago, I was reading through the NASTD Constitution, and one of the items really stuck out to me. Article 1 of the NASTD Constitution, Section 2, under Purposes and Goals. The second goal listed is to engage in programs for the training, education, and development of technology professionals from all areas of state government. Along those lines, we decided to put together a set of educational videos we're calling the IT 101 series to help with this education. We ask industry leaders and technology professionals from out the NASTD community some standard questions about technology or services. And if you haven't seen the videos that we put together over the last couple of years, you can find them on the NASTD website, nastd.org. And if you are, once you're on that site, you can see the YouTube videos that we put together, a bunch of different categories. And while you're on that YouTube station, if you could hit the like and the subscribe button, we would appreciate it. So normally we reach out to the corporate affiliate community and ask them for some guidance on for the videos that we're doing. But this particular time, we're going to go a little off script, and our questions will change as well. So within the NASTD ranks, we have a man who is a wealth of knowledge. And we decided to showcase some of the boards and committees and work that he does on our behalf. The amount of work that Charlie puts in is remarkable, and we are very lucky to have him. So I welcome my fellow NASTD Life Member, Charlie Sasser. Charlie, welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that intro.
Yep. So Charlie is currently employed by the state of Georgia with responsibilities for public safety communications spectrum management. And during the past 22 years with Georgia Technology Authority, assignments have included IT asset management consulting, telecommunications vendor management, IT contract management, telecom service quality management, telecom operations management, enterprise project management office, enterprise technology planning, and enterprise IT security. Prior to working for GTA, the IT management roles that Charlie held were 5 years of IT project implementation consulting with various IT companies, 18 years with Bell South Telecom, and 10 years in the US Navy with NAVSEC Group, assignments in Asia, Europe, and Washington, DC. In addition to all of that, his current activities include 20 years membership in NASTD, 20 years service with SAFECOM representing NASTD, serving on the FirstNet Public Safety Advisory Committee, or PSAC, since its inception, and representing NASTD. Currently representing NASTD as a member of NIPSTIC, serving on the governing board, the executive committee, and vice chair of the Spectrum Committee. And also currently representing NASTD on the FCC CSRIC V8, I'm sorry, 8, exploring the public safety benefits, technical feasibility, cost of options for making Wi-Fi access points and our unlicensed spectrum available to the public to facilitate access to 911 services. So that uses up our entire half hour. No, I'm only kidding. I mean, that is a remarkable amount of work, as I said, within GTA, but also on NASTD's behalf. And reading through that, you know, some of it seems to be self-evident, but some of it not so much. So, Charlie, you know, I'd really like you to you know, to just go into what you do on our behalf, what committees you serve on, and what the different entities that you are affiliated with, what they do, and how they would relate to folks at NASTD.
I will do my best. SAFECOM was created after 9/11. Public safety communications is really local. In other words, you have cities, counties, municipalities, state, and then you have federal, but majority of public safety takes place at the local level. No concerted or focused planning for the nation. It's all local planning and funded locally for the most part. Occasionally, public safety will benefit from some federal grants that comes down, but most of public safety communications is paid for locally. And there's a variety of ways that happens. Well, 9/11 brought the incompatibility issues to the national forefront. By incompatibility issues, what I refer to is a lack of interoperability. So each entity has been allowed to, and they're still allowed to buy whatever equipment, whatever vendor equipment, hardware, software, et cetera, that they choose to buy. And quite often it's without any consideration to what their neighbors are using. Therefore, all that independence has resulted in difficulties with sharing resources, difficulties with sharing individuals with their expertise as you have things like wildfires, floods, hurricanes, as is an example in Florida right now. So Congress created, and I can't quote you the laws or anything at that level, but created SAFECOM to tackle the lack of interoperability among public safety communications. So we are currently a unit of the Cyber and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA. We work through collaboration with emergency responders and elected officials across all levels of government. Our sole focus is to improve emergency response providers' interjurisdictional and interdisciplinary emergency communications interoperability across local, regional, tribal, state, territorial, and international borders, and with federal government entities. We work with existing federal communications programs and key emergency response stakeholders to address the need to develop better technologies and processes for the coordination of existing communication systems and future networks. Talking leaves me with a dry mouth, so you will see me sip periodically. Now, our role is not a technical role per se. We produce products to assist the management of public safety in better managing major events, better managing and planning, strategic planning, procurement, everything associated with managing a public safety working unit. We produce documentation that will assist them in managing that. We make an assumption that just like in IT, people, workers, myself included, get promoted into management positions, and they are highly skilled in the technical arena, but they may not have the skills that would benefit them in planning, looking forward a year, looking forward 2 years, et cetera. And so what we try to do is help educate them and assist them with documentation that fills that gap. Now, we were originally created, the entity was created as an independent entity. When the Department of Homeland Security was created, SAFECOM was rolled into that department as a unit. And then further down the road, when cybersecurity became a hot item or an item that had the focus of Congress, Congress created the Cyber and Infrastructure Security Agency, and DHS and SAFECOM were rolled into that organization. So that's why we are now a part of that larger group, and we benefit by being a part of that larger group.
Excellent.
Now, within SAFECOM, I'm a member of the executive committee. The executive committee sets strategic plans. We approve products that the individual committees that we have under us create. We review them prior to them being published. We have a technology policy committee, which I'm a member. We have a SAFECOM Education and Outreach Committee, which I'm a member, a Funding and Sustainment Committee, which I'm a member, and a Cybersecurity Working Group, which I'm a member. And for each of those, again, we provide documentation, products that assist the public safety community in managing their jobs as it relates to those particular subjects. Now, in addition to that, I'm a member of the Public Safety Advisory Committee, and this is a committee of, I'll say, executives with an interest in public safety in the management of FirstNet. For those not familiar with FirstNet, SAFECOM worked with members of Congress to establish funding for a nationwide public safety broadband network. As part of our early work, we recognized that getting to interoperability really meant having a network that we could rely on, a broadband network that we could rely on to be there in times of disasters, that was dedicated to public safety and did not have to compete with commercial interest. So we assisted the government procurement entity, federal government procurement, in advising them as they put the bid on the street for this particular network. AT&T won the bid, and we are part of the management structure to oversee the performance of AT&T FirstNet. The nationwide broadband network is still being rolled out. It's a 25-year contract, but we're making major progress in getting that to its full capability.
Excellent. So I know that up in Boston, the marathon bombing, really highlighted the need for that FirstNet capability. After the incident happened, everybody that was there or everybody that knew somebody that was there wanted to call to make sure people were safe, people were sound, and of course it saturated the networks and it affected public safety's ability to do their work and do their job. So I know that FirstNet is, firsthand, I guess, I know that FirstNet is critical, and getting to a solid place with that, is really, it needs to be a priority. So thank you for the work you've done there.
Thank you, sir. Many years ago, before I became a state employee and a member of NASTD, Telecommunications Association, not a technology association.
Mm-hmm.
Membership was made up of state members who operated state telephone and state public safety radio system. And our subject matter, was when we would hold meetings, was all about LMR. Motorola was the primary supporter during that period. The baby bells were major supporters during that time because of our activities with voice communications. Again, before my time, NASTD was part of an interest. I believe APCO was involved, and I don't know what other public safety communications associations were involved in creating the National Public Safety Telecommunications Council, that is NIPSTC.
Okay.
So NIPSTC is a federation of organizations whose mission is to improve public safety communications and interoperability through collaborative leadership. Now, during my tenure there, I'm going to say, in my opinion, the most beneficial role that NIPSTC has played for public safety is protecting the spectrum. Public safety has to compete with commercial interest for spectrum to operate their equipment, their communications equipment. So you have the situation where lobbyists for commercial entities approach the FCC and provide documentation, data, et cetera, to support their desire to use spectrum. Sometimes that spectrum that they're wanting to use is being used by public safety.
Yep.
So NIPSTC has contract staff that monitor the FCC upcoming orders, upcoming plans, upcoming bids, et cetera. And they monitor it for anything that may impact public safety spectrum. When a new order is coming down the pike that we feel is going to adversely impact public safety, we pull together all the data that we can to support our opinion when our opinion is different than the commercial interest. We then provide that data to the FCC in an effort to get the FCC to reconsider their plans and continue to protect the spectrum for public safety. And we've been, I'm going to say, again, in my opinion, highly successful in doing that over the years. Now, NIPSTC is lost its federal funding, I'm thinking 2 years ago, as part of all of this consolidation with public safety communications. The powers that be chose to interpret their rules differently than the previous leadership had interpreted their rules. And by doing so, they decided that funding NIPSTC was not part of their charter, part of their role. So NASTD provided funding to NIPSTC to convert to a nonprofit. And so NIPSTC is now a foundation, but the foundation is supporting presently the activities that NIPSTC membership has been doing over the past decades. Now, we are broken up into committees. I'm a member of the governing board. I'm vice chair of the Spectrum Committee. I'm also a member of the Interoperability Committee and the Technology and Broadband Committee. And again, what we do is on these committees, we focus on the use of spectrum and focus on rules that we want to the FCC to implement, and we focus on issues associated with the spectrum that's already out there. Some states, as an example, have challenges not only with bordering other states. And when you have a border of another state, you have to work together for the spectrum that crosses those borders. And the same thing goes for those states who border Mexico and Canada. So we have membership from Canada. I'm not aware of any membership from Mexico, but we have membership from Canada that also supports our efforts and works with us in addressing potential issues and issues that do arise through changes in the FCC's rules. One additional area that I'm involved in is the FCC Scissoring. The FCC pulls together industry experts and others whenever they're going to address new rules, address gaps in current rules, things of this nature. The area that I've been involved in for the last 5+ years, these working groups, is the movement from E911 to Next Gen 911. From our old telephone lines moving into IP telephoning, which opens the door for lots of people who, for hackers, for instance. You may have heard of the term swatting. That's where you call 911, but you pretend to be a different number than what you're calling from. You have software available to do so, and you have a SWAT team showing up at a local politician's house at 2 o'clock in the morning. Things, we've actually had 2 recent incidents of that nature in the state of Georgia. So moving to Next Gen is going to be a major transition, not only for the workers, but for public safety in general. So the FCC pulls together working groups to address, again, the situation, looking at potential problems and potential solutions. The current group that I'm working with is exploring the public safety benefits and technical feasibility of facilitating using Wi-Fi access points to access 911 services. So we have the vendor community, as well as people familiar with regulations, as well as 911 center managers, people with real working experience that are producing a report for the FCC, which will be published on the FCC's website. And we will provide recommendations, and in some cases, direction is pull together another group of different experts to study some aspect that we have discovered that we're not in a position to resolve. But we will be producing that. I believe the current date we're shooting for is March of 23, but for the current working group. On occasion, I'm invited by NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology. Mm-hmm. They manage a public safety communications research lab. And on occasion, I am blessed with an invitation to work with their staff on user interfaces, testing solutions, things of this nature. So it's a wide-ranging opportunity that I have benefited from in being associated with public safety communication. An example of some of the things we worked on, an information sharing framework task force. As public safety moves more into data as well as voice, video, and data sharing, it becomes, we're trying to avoid the situation that we that we created with interoperability or lack of with voice. We're trying to avoid that when it comes to data. So we've created an information sharing framework. We do things of that nature. We also work with FEMA when it comes to coordinating communications for major disasters. We're trying our best to not create any documentation that would differ from FEMA. And so we actually work with them in some of the products that we create. I am running out of things to say.
Well, you've said quite a bit. You've got a lot going on. Like I said at the beginning, you're doing a lot on our behalf, and I thank you. So if we need information, so if we need to know, need some help within our local, our state government or our local communities, how can we get assistance? How can we get your ear or SafeCom's ear or NIST's ear, so to speak?
Well, I will forward to you a list of websites, and any of the members can contact me directly, and I will assist them in getting in contact with whomever they need. Would that suffice? That
would be perfect. I know up in New England here in particular, you talk about the interoperability. We are a lot closer together with other states, and at several points here, we're bordering with two, 3, 4 states, 5 states, where we're sharing bandwidth, we're sharing information, and we need to work together on things all the time. So there's always room for improvement. There's always room for collaboration. So I think that this information that you have would be very helpful for the folks here in New England and across the country. So we can take that information. If you send it over to me, Charlie, what I'll do is I'll attach the link here. So I can drop it in to the video, and we'll put it up so that folks can have those websites. And then I know that you put out on a monthly basis, we get an update that Paul posts on the NASTD website. So folks, if you want to look for those emails, those postings into the NASTD site, we get the alerts for them. We get emails on them as well. So you can look for Charlie's information there. So any closing thoughts of what states, how states can use these services or use your assistance going forward?
Well, to keep it simple, if you are involved in any public safety project or you need technical assistance, there is a chance that I can get you in contact with people that can provide that from the federal government. In some cases, it's free of charge. Planning assistance, things of that nature. So anything related to public safety communications, don't hesitate to ask. And I'll use what resources I have and what I know about in an attempt to assist you.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. So again, this is Charlie Sasser, and he is with Georgia, state of Georgia, the GGA, the Public Safety Communication Spectrum Management. And he is a tireless worker on NASTD's behalf, and obviously doing great things to help with the public safety communications throughout the country. So again, Charlie, thank you very much for not only your time today, but everything that you do for us throughout the year.
Thank you. Glad to be of assistance.
Excellent. And for those of you watching again, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, we ask you to please subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the next IT 101 series. Thank you.